Hello, everybody, and welcome to the new Earth Space Dock Season 9 coming at ya. This is The Dock from the new Earth Space Dock Season 9 Star Trek Online. Okay, folks, here we go. This is it. I am in it. Granted, about a whole day late, but I'm in it. And basically, this video, I'm just going to show you some of the new things that are available in Season 9 of Star Trek Online, what you can do, things to look for, and I also want to focus on this video on the traits, the new trait system, and how you apply and go through adding your new traits. It's very important that you do that because your traits have been wiped out clean when you log in for the first time. That means you need to spend a lot of time going through the trait system and adding those traits back to your character, else he will not be very good in space or ground until you put your traits back on. Very important. Okay, first of all, obviously, new Earth Space Dock. We knew this was coming. I showed video previews of this. Pretty much nothing has changed from the last video preview I showed. It's all laid out the same. There's the transporter. Just as I figured, most people in the zone chat are asking where's Quinn, where's Sulu, Quinn being the obvious contact of where he is, because people don't realize that behind this wall is a whole nother section of Earth Space Dock, and I knew that would happen when I first saw this layout. I knew that people would not realize that there's a whole nother section back here, because you really don't until you go back there and go around the corners. So there's a lot of questions in Zone Chat about where's Quinn? How do I find him? Where is he at? So just tell him he's behind the water wall. And that seems to be a very common question. Otherwise, seems to be going all right. Zone Chat is back to normal with the political discussion tonight, so that's very annoying. And yeah, pretty much nothing else has changed. Club 47 is not here yet. We didn't think it would be. It's not. It may come in apparently a Season 9.5. Yes, there's already Season 9.5 being talked about, just like there was a Season 8.5. Now, where the club will be is somewhere in this area. It may not be specifically this room, but they may have a door that goes to it, or they may carve out a space for it. Maybe it'll be up here. Who knows where it'll be. But somewhere in this area, most likely, Club 47 will be coming back, and that will be Season 9.5. That's another question in the chat box that I'm noticing a lot, is everyone saying, oh, I miss Club 47, they did all this, they didn't do Club 47. Well, they just didn't have time to put it in for the launch, but it was always planned to come back, and they just didn't have time to do it. So anyway, that will be coming back. Alright, so to find out yourself and to read what's new in Season 9, just hit the little question mark button and you can read what's new in Season 9. I'm going to go over this right now, and I suggest you do too. This will tell you everything that's new and give you an outline of what you can do. Season 9 is called A New Accord. Season 9, A New Accord, is now available. In this update, players can join Tuvok from Star Trek Voyager at the Janolan Dyson Sphere to help negotiate a coordinated response to the rising Undine threat. In addition, Earth Space Dock has been remodeled, Borg and Undine missions have been revamped with art and gameplay improvements, and new queued events are available. All PvP maps have also been enabled for cross-faction play, and there is a new space battle zone in the Solanae Dyson Sphere. There is also a new 8472 counter command reputation, a new system for kits, and a trait and reputation powers have been updated. So that's a lot of stuff right there, and that's not even all of it. Basically, the PvP maps have been changed to now they are cross-faction. That means that when you PvP up, you can have KDF, Fed, and I'm guessing Romulan as well, on your team. against a mix of KDF, Fed, and Romulan on another team. So in the past, it was all faction specific. You had to be basically Feds against KDFs. Well, now they've mixed it up and allowed you to have multiple factions on the same team. And the whole point in doing that is to obviously get more people to play PvP, because if you were on the KDF side, it could literally take you years before a PvP would pop, before you could actually get into a PvP mode if you use the queue system. But now this way, this will help get more people into it, and you can do more PvP queues. That's the idea anyway. And they've done this because the Klingon Federation War is now over. Apparently, in Season 9, there is no more war, and now we're all focused on the Undine and the I guess Solanae as well, maybe, or Iconians or whatever else is out there. I guess the Voth aren't really an issue now, because I think the Undine have in as far as Season 9 done a lot of damage to their homeworld, and kind of pushed the Voth back a little bit. So Season 8 was all big about the Voth, but Season 9 is like the Voth are kind of in the background. So we'll see how that all works out. Anyway, there's also a new reputation. The whole traits and reputation system has changed. The whole kit system has changed. And there are, of course, new Undine missions available. And there are updated Borg and Undine missions that with new art and improvements. I still haven't gone back and played the new Federation missions that they updated in the last couple of seasons. I need to do that, and I do plan to do that. So I think I'll make a whole big series where I go and play the updated Federation missions that they updated previously, plus now the new Borg and Undine missions that they've updated, and we can look at the differences there. I think I'll do a whole separate playlist series on that, so stay tuned for that. All right, the next big thing is that there is a feature episode associated with all of this. It's called Surface Tension. The featured episode Surface Tension continues a storyline of Sphere of Influence and A Step Between Stars, and it stars Tim Russ as Tuvok, and it sends you to the Delta Quadrant to fight the rising Undine threat. It's available for characters of level 10 or higher of any faction. After the end of the featured episode's run, Surface Tension will be available for maximum rank characters, and it does include rewards which help you against the Undine fight, specifically against Undine in Space and Ground. Alright, so there are updated Borg and Undine missions. Missions featuring the Borg and Undine have been updated with new art and gameplay improvements. We've smoothed the flow, made story updates, added new rewards, and made general improvements to the play experience of these missions. So, it looks like Tuvok's going to be a part of that too. So, I'm looking forward to replaying those missions so we can see what the changes are. That'll be cool. Undine Infiltration. There's a new cute event called Undine Infiltration. Maximum rank players of any faction can go to Bajor to seek out shapeshifters hiding among the population. You earn marks for the reputation system and find the infiltrators. I'm interested in that. That's cool. That's a good way to use the new Bajor map they updated several seasons ago. That came out, I guess, with the Dominion, the Jem'Hadar, forgot the name of that one, the 2800 or the 4800, something like that. Vicious Cycle. Mixed faction teams of maximum rank characters will team up in this cute event to enter fluidic space and eliminate Undine ships before they are fully constructed. Breach the shipyard maws to reach the protoplanet killers within and destroy them before time runs out. That actually sounds fun. Dyson Sphere Battle Zone. Undine forces have broken into the Solanae Dyson Sphere and are holding an area once controlled by the Voth. So there's our hint that the Voth are being pushed out. Team up and fight to regain control of the region and then destroy the Undine forces in a persistent space battle. The space battle zone can be reached from the edge of the contested zone or from the arrival area of the allied zone. And of course, the new 8472 Counter Command Reputation. The new reputation track for maximum rank characters offers new rewards and new powers to aid in the fight against the Undine threat. And of course, the kit revamp. Kits have been completely updated. You can now add modules to your kits to customize the powers available to your captain during combat. Kits and modules are available from Mark 1 to Mark 12 in common, uncommon, rare, and very rare qualities. Basic common quality kits and modules are available from vendors for energy credits. All quality of kits and modules will now drop from ground enemies as possible rewards. Fleet holding kits have been updated to provide a very rare kit with a pre-slotted very rare module of the power that was previously a Mark IV power. Okay, interesting. There's a website you can go to read more about the kits, and I have not looked at the new kits in depth yet. I'll do a separate video on that. Updated trait and reputation powers. Several updates have been made to trait and reputation powers. All owned traits now appear in a single list, so players can select their desired traits up to the available limit. The traits window now also includes all powers earned from reputations. Players may choose up to 4 space reputation powers, 4 ground powers, and 4 active reputation powers. They can activate or deactivate any of these earned powers at any time and no longer need respect tokens for reputation powers, which is awesome. Currently owned reputation respect tokens will be automatically converted to a reward of comparable value. So I'm interested in the fact that it has this active power slot. I haven't used that yet, and I'm interested how that works out, because I'm not quite sure what the point of that is. If you got 4 space and 4 ground, so it's just another extra 4 for active powers. I'm not sure how that works. So I'm going to take a look at that today. Reputation updates. Commendations have been removed from the Dice and Drunk Command reputation, and daily bonus marks have been added for all reputations. In addition, large and small XP projects have been replaced with daily and hourly XP projects. Dilithium stores will unlock automatically, and all reputation gear projects have been upgraded to reward Mark 12 very rare gear. I like the reputation updates, to be honest with you. It's going to make it a lot better, more like the Dyson was. You'll be able to do a daily, slot it, and be done with it. And you'll level up faster in that, and the rewards are now just Mark 12 very rare rewards. So I really like the updates to the reputation. Cross-faction PvP. All PvP maps have been converted to cross-faction. We already talked about that. Earth Space Dock, of course, is new. It's a complete remodel of Earth Space Dock. Okay, so the thing that I really want to focus on today is the traits. Because I was looking at this earlier, and here's how you now access your traits. These are your reputation traits and your innate species trait. Remember, your species that you chose when you started this game, either a human, a Vulcan, an alien, or any other type of species, it has its own unique traits to that species. Those traits are also changeable now without tokens. So you hit U and you go to traits, and this is the new trait system. Okay, and now this is really cool because you don't have to have tokens to change these traits out. All you have to do is click the little button to enable or disable the trait if the trait's active or not. And if you make it active, it puts itself in a slot. If you make it deactive, it takes itself out and you got a slot free. And you can change this at any time out of combat. That is sweet to me. So that means you can continually or constantly update and change your traits until you figure out, what traits you like better, or even change your traits for different situations. Like say you're going against the Borg, or going against the Undine, or going against whatever. You can change your traits based on the situation you're fixing to face. That, my friends, is an awesome, awesome ability to do without having to have a cooldown time, without having to have respect tokens and all that, and spend Zen and all that to change it. This is a big change. I like that fact. I don't like the fact that we're restricted to 4 space and 4 ground reputation. I think that's very restrictive. I would like to see, I would like to see at least 6 space and 6 ground, because they keep adding so many reputation powers. When we go to reputation, I've got all the reputation powers available to me right now, except for the new Undine. So you can see that's a lot of powers. And as they add more reputations, we're going to have so many more passively traits available to us that number 4 is really going to be limiting on the space and ground, really limiting. That's my only beef with it right now. It's just not enough. All right, so here's what I've already done my traits, and I will not go through and change these because I like what I've picked on this character, but I will load another character and we'll go look at one with a blank slate and look at putting traits on. But for example, on this character, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I have 9 personal traits. I decided to divide it up evenly and do 4 ground traits, 4 space traits, and then an extra trait. And now this is of course, my personal species trait. This is not the reputation traits. The reputation trait is this stuff down here. So the first one is personal traits, right? I went, and of course you can totally do whatever you want for your character. But for my character, he is a science officer, okay, I'm mixing up all my words now. He is a science officer. He is, well, the doctor, and he is trying to build a character around that kind of a theme. So, given all of that information, also he's the alien, the species alien, and with that, I get a little bit difference here. He says your created species has enhanced flexibility in trait selection. You do not have any required traits. Instead, you gain 1 additional choice of traits. That's why I chose alien when I picked the doctor, because it didn't have any required traits. I could customize my traits completely. Some of your species that you have chosen, you may have required traits that you cannot change. If that's the case, then you're locked into whatever that is, and then there's you might have 3 or 4 or whatever you can change. So it just depends what species you picked. Alien is the most flexible because you can change all of them, and you can start with a clean blank slate and customize all your traits. And that's what I was able to do with this character. So I did creative, which is damage on kit powers, healing on all powers. You can read that. It's a very cool trait. I also went with peak health for maximum hit points mostly. I wanted to increase my ground health hit points. But it also gives me toxic damage resistance rating. And then I also did resilient, which gives me physical damage resistance rating and energy damage resistance rating. And then I also did natural immunities, which gives me radiation damage resistance and toxic damage resistance. Now for space, I did astrophysicist, which is going to improve exotic damage for me. It also improves shield drain and energy drain if I use flow caps. I also chose conservation of energy, which gained 10% bonus damage on exotic damage powers when struck by energy damage, and because I use a lot of exotic damage powers, that made a lot of sense for this character. This one I love to use on all my characters. It's called Efficient Captain. It is basically 30 Starship Core warp core efficiency. It improves power levels. It provides a bonus to warp core efficiency skill, improving all power levels, weapon, shield, engine, and auxiliary of your ship when power is low. That's why I love that one. And then also, I never leave home without Warp Theorist. It improves your warp core potential skill, which increases all power levels of your ship. Also improves electroplasma systems, which improves power transfer rates and regeneration. So it improves power levels and power transfer rate. So I always like to get the absolute max power that I can, especially on a engineering or science ship. And then for my final power, I chose something unique to my character, and that is Photonic Capacitor. This trait causes the activation of your science abilities to reduce your remaining cooldown on Photonic Fleet by 20 seconds. And I use Photonic Fleet a lot. That's my special science ability for this character. So those are my personal traits. Now when it comes to my reputation traits, this one you really have to focus on because you only have so many. You only have 4 ground and 4 space. So I was really trying to pick the reputation traits that I felt benefited my science character. I went with auxiliary power configuration defense, which it doesn't show me the real numbers here, I guess, till I get in space. But basically, in space combat, I will gain a bonus to maximum hull HP, maximum shield HP, kinetic damage resistance rating, and energy damage resistance rating that scales based on your auxiliary power level. And my auxiliary power level on this ship will be quite high because it's a science character and auxiliary power is what I have buffed up and everything. And then the other power I chose is enhanced shield penetration. Your directed energy attack ignores some of your target's shields in space combat. And the reason I liked this one was because I'm a science character and I'm not doing a high amount of DPS. So I need something to help aid me in getting through their shields and doing damage. So that made sense. And these 2 Romulan space powers made sense. precision, gaining more critical hit chance so that I can do more critical hits, because as a science character, again, the only way to really do damage is to do as many critical hits as you can. So increase my critical hit chance. And then sensor targeting analysis. This one sounded nice. You will render your target's weapons offline when you land a critical hit in space combat, as long as the effect is active. So basically I can knock the weapons offline if I do a critical hit. The only other space one that I really would have liked to have added would be the, well, I guess I don't know. That's pretty good, actually. I would have liked to have more ship. One of these is hull strings right here. Increased max hull. This increases your hull by 7.5%. I would like to have had that, but there's no more spaces, so I can't. Unless I'm able to put that in the active reputation. I don't know how that works. Let's see. Fortified hull. If I do trait is, if I click this, all that's going to do is put it in there. Well, what if I go here? Oh, I see how it works. So the active reputation is the tier 5 stuff. Okay, well that really changes things. See, so yeah, you are only limited really to 4 space reputation, and that's it. That is so limiting to me. I want 1 or 2 more. I'm sorry, I just want 1 or 2 more. That's not enough for me. Ground reputation, I went with all damage bonus resistance rating, again keeping with the fact that he's a really resilient alien. 10% health to increase my ground health again even more. Enhanced personal shields, 10% maximum shield capacity. And then I haven't figured out what my 4th one is yet. Has to be a ground power. The little people here, this little person means ground. And the little ship means space. Increased crit severity on ground, nah. Minor shield penetration on ground, nah. Critical hit chance, nah. Melee weapon, I don't really do that. But increases energy weapon, that could be useful. Increases your health regeneration both in and out of combat. I don't know. Plus 10 shield every 1 second. Maybe. Increased damage resistance debuff on target of health decrease. Increased damage resistance rating as health decreases. Chance to trigger a heal over time. Shield resistance when critically hit. Shield penetrating. See, I don't know yet what my 4th power is going to be. I'll have to think about that. I can always change it though. I guess that's the beauty of this, is that I can make it this right now. There, I can slot that. And I can change it anytime I don't like it. All I got to do is deselect it or select something else and it'll replace it. So I can change it out anytime. So now I know what the active reputation is. Active reputation is the tier 5 powers in your reputation. When you go to reputation and you, let's say, got to tier 5 New Romulus, the tier 5 power is the quantum singularity manipulation. The Nukara one is the refracting tetryon cascade. The Omega one is medical nanite cloud, and the Dyson one is defiance. And then the new Undine one is called biomolecular shield generation. Well, apparently you can only have 4 of those as well. So now that we have 5 reputations, that means there's 1 tier 5 activatable power you are not going to have. You're going to be limited now to only 4 of those tier 5 powers. Another thing I'm not happy about. Well, I've only got 4, so I might as well slot all of them right now. But once I get the Undine one, then I have to make a choice of which one I want to sacrifice. That's going to suck. So that's what it looks like when all your power traits are there. Just make sure you do that. If you don't, you're going to be very underpowered. But just so you get an idea of what all the traits are, the personal traits are divided into space and ground. I wish there was a filter here. They need a filter button to filter space and ground. That would be a lot better, but they're all mixed up now within each other. You've got space, ground, ground, space, ground, space, ground, ground. You see what I mean? It's very mixed up right now, so just make sure that what you're looking at is either space or ground, because that makes a difference. And the only other space ability I would have liked to have had increased my accuracy on this ship, but I don't think I want to sacrifice anything else for that. I guess if I sacrifice something, it might be natural immunities, because I mean, when am I really on the ground a lot doing radiation taking radiation damage or toxic damage? I'm not really on the ground a lot taking that kind of damage. So I could replace that. See, this is the beauty of being able to do this on the fly. I can take that out and replace it with accuracy. Bam. See how cool that is? How you can do this on the fly? I love that. That part is cool. So I guess if I'm doing a lot of space stuff, I'll keep accuracy. I guess if I'm going to do a lot of Undine stuff, that natural immunities might come in handy. And I don't know what I'm going to be doing, so I really don't know. I'll leave it on accuracy for right now. That's a little unbalanced, more space abilities than ground, but I can always change it if I don't like it. So anyway, here's all the abilities that there are. There's accurate, increases ship weapon accuracy. Acute senses, perception, exploit damage, flanking, and you've got aggressive, increases damage and threat generation for ground. Astrophysicist for space, we looked at that. Cold-blooded, which is fire and plasma damage resistance on ground. Exotic damage on space, stealth and exploit damage on ground. Damage on hit powers, healing on all powers on ground. Efficient captain for space. Elusive, which increases your defense in space. Field researcher, damage to debuff targets on ground. Lucky, critical hit and expose chance on ground. Medical vanguard, your buffs and heals are now also strength and shields on ground. Mental discipline, psionic confuse placates on ground. Natural immunities, peak health, ground. Physical strength on ground, which is bonus melee damage. Resilient on ground, physical damage resistance rating. Soldier, which is increases the damage and critical hit damage of your ranged weapons. This would be good on a tactical character for sure. That's ground. Stubborn, improves resistance against hold, stun, slows, and placate effects on ground. Sturdy is a ground trait, provides innate resistance to physical damage and knockback. Sure-footed, improves resistance against abilities that knock you back and root you in place on ground. Techie increases your hull, heal, and regen. This would be good on a cruiser in space. Techie. Telepathic, it improves your ability to see stealth foes and increases the duration of expose on ground. Warp theorist, and then photonic capacitor. Now, if you are a tactical officer or an engineer, you'll have a different option down here for, I believe, for engineering, it is something to deal with a miracle worker. And then for tactical, I do not know offhand what it is. Now, your reputation powers rely solely on what level reputation you are in your reputation system menu. Task Force Omega, New Cars, Strike Force, New Romulus, Dyson Joint Command, and the new one, 8472 Command. All of that unlocks, of course, as you rank up in the tiers, and then that goes into this list here for these. So I have a lot of them because I have all of them available to me because I've leveled up in all of them except for the new Undine one, which just came out. So that's why I have a lot. If you don't have but maybe one of these reputations unlocked, then that's all you'll have. But more will show up as you unlock. Just remember that that's happening as you unlock new reputation passives in each tier. But basically, as you go up in tier 1, tier 2, each tier you're going to gain like 2 new traits. So after you up that tier and you're like, wow, I hit tier 2 of this or whatever, go back to your traits and see what the 2 new traits are that were added here, and then see if you want to use them or not. Very important to keep that in mind. And this one does filter them because you have space reputation and then you have ground. so you know which, if you're looking at space or ground. That's nice. And then the active reputation are just the tier 5 abilities. That's going to mess up my buttons too on my ship. Anyway. Okay, anyway. So that's all you have to do, and after you do that, you're done. So, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to keep in mind. It's a lot to look at. I'm going to tell you, it took me about an hour to sit here and just figure out what I want. It takes a lot of time. And I've got a lot of characters to do this on. Remember, this is going to be washed on all your characters. It's going to be blank. So you want to get in there and do that. Spend some time and make it right, make it good for your character. And remember, you can change it at any time. Now, as for the new reputation, of course, the new reputation is the Undine reputation. I haven't started it yet. I have no idea how that's going to go, but let's see. We've got 2 things we can start called Counter Command Efforts Daily and Submit Battle Reports Hourly. Of course, the hourly reward on this is what? Only 200 reputation. And it requires 20 Undine marks to start for 200 reputation per hour. But I'm going to probably just do this one, which gives you 2,500 reputation, and it requires 30 Undine marks. So I'll get my 30 Undine marks and then run this one once a day. That's how I'm going to roll. That's how I'm going to do it. We'll go ahead and slot it. 30 Undine marks. It requires 2,000 expertise and 15,000 energy credits. So now I just have to do the things to get the marks. But these are the passives that will unlock. So when I hit tier 1 of the 8472 counter command, these 2 traits is what will be added to my traits window for reputation traits. And they are mental acuity, which is a 10% bonus damage while aiming, and or 20 psionic damage bonus resistance rating, 15 control resistance rating. Tier 2 is tactical precision, 3% accuracy for 15 seconds. What is that? Is that ground or? That's space combat. Crucial components redistribution, 20 anti-proton damage bonus resistance rating, 15 control resistance rating. So this must be ground space. This is empathetic adaptation. When suffering damage, 20% chance to reduce damage to shields by 5% for 10 seconds. This chance is doubled when hit by psionic damage. When hit by energy attacks, you have a 5% chance to reflect 50% of incoming energy back to the attacker. Ooh, that's nice. Also grants a 10% chance to reflect psionic damage. Nanoprobe field generator. When suffering damage, 10% chance to reduce damage to shields by 5. Okay, so this is like ground space of that. When hit by directional energy attacks, you have a 10% chance to reflect 100% of incoming damage back. Wow, that's cool. And then the tier 5 ability is a Biomolecular Shield. It targets self, creates a level 50 Biomolecular Shield generator, and that is a space ability. So that's what will become available in your traits once you unlock them, and then you just have to decide what you want to use. That's why I think 4 space and 4 ground is just so not enough. Give me at least 6 space and 6 ground. That's all I'm asking for. Or give me the ability to increase it. Now also at each tier they have new things available. New store, Biomolecular Rifle Ground Weapon, Mark 12, Counter Command Personal Shield, Universal Hydrodynamics Compensator. Ground weapons, you've got a Deflector Mark 12 for space. You've got Enhanced Biomolecular Photon Torpedo Launcher. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what that's like. Biomolecular Projectile Space Weapons. Ooh, yeah. And other things. Photon Grenade, too. Ooh, tactical. Okay, yeah, they have Tactical Kit Modules and Science Kit Modules for the new kit stuff. Engineering Kit Modules as well. Nanite Medical Generator or a Nanite Sonic Pulse or a biomolecular photon grenade. Those sound like really cool additions to your kits. You've got the space sets. Oh, you have the hyper injection warp core or singularity. Then you have phaser, heavy biomolecular phaser turret. Very rare heavy biomolecular disruptor turret. Cool. Biomolecular kit frame. So there's probably the best ultimate kit frame right there for your kit modules, is this biomolecular kit frame. But you're going to have to get tier 5 before you can get that. Wow. Exo armor. Covariant shield array. And the armor, I gotta say, looks pretty cool. I would like to own it just to have it. And of course I don't know the stats on it until I can get it, but that's the new reputation. Once I finish it, I'll show you everything that's available in there and what you can, what all the stats are. Right now I have no idea. But really I just wanted to focus on that traits and show you guys how you do the traits, because that's going to be really important to your character. I'm going to change characters real quick. I'll go to one that has a blank slate that I haven't done yet, just so you see. This is how you will start off as well in the game. And you saw there for a second it almost loaded the older space dock. That was funny. And I find it interesting when you beam in, you don't beam in the middle of the transporter room. You beam in these little alcoves. You have your own little alcove. So now when I go to traits, you'll see it's blank. And it's different on this character. This character is a liberated Borg human. That means it has some traits that were associated with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, I've only got 8 traits on this character. I had 9 on my alien. I think that's why the alien is definitely way more flexible. So I have peak health. This is what was already on here, I guess, or what's native to my species. And then of course the Borg neural blast. But I guess I can take all of these off too and change it. Yep. Yes, I can. I can actually change all of them anyway. Okay, cool. So now I just have to sit here for an hour and go through all the powers on this character. And because he's an engineer, he has different ones like EPS, manifold efficiency, batteries give a secondary boost to all subsystems. So yeah, your species or your career type also determines the different type of traits that you will have available to you. Shield harmonic response applies 5% resistance to an incoming energy damage when struck. So yeah, the powers are different because this is an engineer. And here's the special engineering power one. It's called Grace Under Fire. Taking damage can reset the recharge on Miracle Worker. This trait will only trigger every 90 seconds, but if you take more than 20% of your hit points and damage within a 5-second period, the cooldown on Miracle Worker is reset. And that can come in handy. That can save your life a lot. And then again, you just have to go through all that and then go through your reputation powers again. You know, and on this character I have all of them available to me as well, so I have a ton to go through and look at. Let's go quick to the tactical one, and we'll just look at the differences there. Again, it almost wanted to load the old Earth space dock. I am a Mako veteran. When did that happen? Should have happened a long time ago. Let's see. Traits. So, okay, apparently my I didn't know this until now, but I had forgotten what species I had chosen. My tactical character is an alien, so he does have all 9 personal traits. Yay for him. He senses aggressive, astrophysicist, cold-blooded, covert, Creative crippling fire. Your critical hits reduce your target's accuracy. That's unique to tactical. Situational awareness. This trait causes all of your grenade powers to expose their targets for up to 7 seconds. That's a tactical power. Strike team specialist. When attacking targets, you have a chance to increase your critical hit chance for 15 seconds. And that's... And the last one is called Last Ditch Effort. During go down fighting, you plus res from attacking. Doubles the amount of damage resistance that your outgoing weapon attacks grant you while under the effects of go down fighting. This damage resistance increases, stacks up to 3 times. 100% damage resistance from go down fighting. Okay, cool. So that's the special tactical ability. And then again, you just have to go through all your traits, your reputation traits. And I don't have all of them yet. I'm almost there, almost tier 5. I actually do have all of them except for the tier 5 Dyson one. Wow, so a lot of stuff there with the traits. But hopefully that will help somebody out there figure out what to do and to figure out that it's there, because it is, and it's very important that you do that. If you ignore it, you're going to be going into battle with just that, and it looks very naked. You are not going to be doing very well if you don't go out there with all your traits. So go to your traits, spend time, make it good. So this will be a series of videos. This is my first video on Season 9, introducing the traits and getting all that squared away. I'll do another video and we'll look at kits, but I guess I can't really look at them as in depth as I'd want to because I don't have the special Mark 12 very rare frame kits and modules and all that stuff, but I'll do what I can. And I'll probably make future videos to look at some of the unique Undine stuff out there, the battle zones, the whatever else is in the PvE these days. I guess now we go, hopefully they have an Undine. Yeah, they have Undine marks. You know what, I want an uncheck all option. Would be really nice right here. So this is the new stuff, Undine Assault. Undine Assault Elite, Undine Infiltration, Undine Infiltration Elite, Vicious Cycle, and Vicious Cycle Elite. I'll take a look at all of them. I guess I'll just make separate videos on each one. And we'll do them, we'll pug them, hopefully it'll go smooth. Unless I can find a team, I take that back. I'll only pug it if I can't find a team that is starting one up or something in an elite channel. But I've heard that pugs have gone really bad today. I was reading some of the chat. Someone said they did a pug and it was just terrible. It was just, oh, it was just nightmare. So people don't know how to play these new ones yet, and they don't take the time to learn. So we'll see how that goes. I might actually play it before I record a video just so I can figure out how to play it. Because I don't want to be terrible either. I need to learn myself. Anyway, eventually I'll make videos on that. And then of course I will play, next is going to be the new thing that's out right now, which is Surface Tension. I just forgot the name of it. Surface Tension. And that'll be in the next video. So we will continue our series of Season 9 videos. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next.